Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sequoyah High School for the second meeting between Sequoyah and Woodstock. You saw the boys' game just a minute ago. You're about to see the girls' game get underway for Game 3 of the War Lodge Classic here at Sequoyah High School. I am Chase Schaefer. Joining me on Chiefs TV up here in the booth is Will Hogendijk to my right and Max Swain to my left. Gentlemen, we've had some good basketball here so far this evening, and it's only going to get better. A huge matchup between both of these Cherokee County teams coming up, Will.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. This is going to be a matchup of heavyweights. The Woodstock girls team doing much better than the boys team so far, coming in at 6-3. Boys team obviously falling to 1-11. Last year we saw this matchup, and it was a great match. It went into overtime. Bridget Upberg on Woodstock, the player to watch, had 27 points that game, and she's definitely going to. And there, her name is announced right there, so she's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for Woodstock tonight.
It's going to be a good one. Both these teams sit at 6-3, so this game is really going to determine which way the season goes. Because this game has momentum to both of their minds. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, a little bit of a wrinkle here for the Sequoyah Chiefs as they are missing both Amy Singh and Susanna Rogers, so a big loss, not only offensively but defensively, as Rogers is probably going to be the main defensive plan for the Sequoyah Chiefs. Well, we got Susanna suited up. So Susanna's suited up down there. We'll see if she can go tonight, but she's definitely not in the starting rotation. But strap in, this should be a good game here tonight, as Bridget Utberg and Ellie Blatchford most likely going to be the two names that we call the most here tonight.
Yeah, those are two star players. Going to be fun to watch.
Well, you know, it's going to be fun to watch not only this year, but next year, Woodstock's going to be in our region. So you'll get Bridget Utberg twice a year, along with Ellie and Susanna. So we'll see these two teams next year play each other. Well, Susanna's not playing next year because she's a senior. She's going to go play college ball somewhere, we hope. As we get ready to get underway here for Game 3 of the War Lodge Classic. Stepping in to take the jump ball for Woodstock is Carson Martin. And stepping in for the Lady Chiefs is going to be Aaron Jackson, the Cornell College commit. That's the Cornell College out in Iowa. A pretty big basketball state if you like your Hawkeyes. And the tip's going to be won by Woodstock. Utberg pushes this one inside. Nice layup and in. And Woodstock starts the scoring thanks to Anika Gay. Ball's tipped. Blatchford has to chase it. She's got to get across half court. Pushed up to Barber. Long pass to Barber. Blatchford finds Gaddis up top. Blatchford drives in, now gets it back over to Gaddis. Now to Davies. Davies down to Jackson. 30 seconds away here in the first quarter. Still 2-0 Woodstock. Jackson switches and gets it over to Blatchford, who fires a long three-pointer as it was a little long and went off the opposite side rim. Here comes Woodstock. And another three-pointer. That one goes up and in, and Woodstock out to a quick 5-0 lead as Lily Conkle drains a three-pointer. So a minute in, and it's 5-0 Woodstock. Jackson gets trapped at half court, and 10 seconds in the backcourt is the call. The ball will go back over to Woodstock. So the press getting to the Chiefs early, and Coach Yarbrough wants to go ahead and take a quick timeout. A minute and 5 seconds into the game. Your score, Woodstock 5, Sequoyah 0. Max?
And that was a quick start. Lily Conkle right there, she's a freshman. She might be a little bit on the smaller side, but she can hit those shots as I can breathe. She hits them very easily.
Yeah, and looking at these two teams matching up, I mean, their averages per game, Woodstock averages slightly more points per game at 59.9, and then Sequoyah at 54.1. Rebounds are also in Woodstock's favor at 32, Sequoyah with 24.3. Assists are in Sequoyah's favor, as well as steals, assists being 13.2 and steals being 13.6. So it'll be, I mean, obviously it's going to be a very big matchup. Interesting to see how these two teams match up together. They both
seem
got
pretty even. They seem pretty even.
Yeah.
So here we go after the timeout. Ball is inbounded to Utberg, the senior point guard. Oh, I thought she was a junior. Never mind, she is a senior. Barber stands in there and takes a shot, but Utberg unable to find the bottom of the net. Long three-pointer clangs off the front of the iron, and out of bounds goes the ball, and it'll stay Wolverines basketball. Great defensive effort there by Callie Gaddis.
Sorry, she's talking about Bridget Utberg. She's committed to Central Michigan, so a Chippewa on the floor right now.
Some action in her future, and a foul on Barber as she picks up her first of the night. Utberg takes it up top, now down into the corner. Driving inside is Martin, no good on the shot. Rebound by Jackson. Sequoyah still hasn't scored yet. We're almost 2 minutes in. Pass intended for Davies finds its mark. She gets it into Barber. Barber has that shot blocked, comes down with the rebound, and she is getting mugged in the paint, and the foul is called. So Barber with a chance to put the Chiefs' first points on the board tonight. 6:11 left to go, 5-0 Woodstock. So Barber, the senior forward, as she sinks the first.
And Chase, you were talking about it before the game started. Susanna Rogers sick right now, not playing, not starting at least. And she's a real leader on the offense on both sides of the ball, so it's going to be interesting to see her effect.
Barber sinks both of them. 6:11 left to go in the first. 5-2 Woodstock. Here comes Utberg up the court. Shot from the free throw line, bounces around and goes in. A good one there by Carson Martin. Blatchford comes up the near side of the floor. She gets trapped, hands it off to Davies. Davies lays it up and in, and Sequoyah cuts it back to a three-point game. .5:35 left to go in the first quarter. Calamity in the paint, three-pointer from the corner is good, and that is Bree Rogers. Jackson turns it over, picked off by Conkle. Conkle now gets it back to the freshman who drives the lane. No good, that is blocked. Now some girls on the floor trying to get the basketball, and it squeaks free. Barber's got it. Now she's tied up with someone, and finally we get a jump ball after a huge back and forth between both of them. So Abdusalam, the freshman, going to check in for the Chiefs. Davies takes it. Rogers finally checks in, so we were concerned about her status at the start of the game. She's made it in. Blatchford launches a deep three-pointer, and it's good! So we're back to a three-point game with 4:55 left to go in the first quarter.
So Blatchford's first points of the night.
Driving into the lane, no good. Not sure if Abdusalam got a hand on it or not. Blatchford's got numbers, pulls up, takes a long two-point shot and drains it, and Sequoyah back to within one. So 10-9 as Sequoyah on a little bit of a mini run here with 4:30 left to go in the first. Long three-pointer, no good. As it hit the front of the rim and then off the backboard, Blatchford takes it, and it is knocked out of bounds by Martin. Rogers will inbound the ball. Finds Aaron Jackson, who finds Davies, who's wide open on the wing. No good, as she had a little too much mustard on the three-point shot, and back come the Wolverines. Now down to the corner. Blatchford is there to help Davies with the trap, and the ball will go out of bounds and stay Woodstock basketball after Conkle is able to bounce it off one of the Chiefs. Martin inbounds the ball. Given to Gay, who gives it right back. Martin all the way across the floor. Three-point shot is up, and no good. As the ball goes out of bounds, we will go back to the Sequoyah end of the floor. Rogers back in for the Chiefs.
And the Sequoyah defense kind of seems to be all over the place right now. It seems like every Woodstock pass is getting them to one side of the court.
Blatchford's pass too high for Rogers, taken by Martin. And Woodstock forces a turnover, still up 10-9 with 3:37 left to go in the first quarter. That's a travel, so Sequoyah gets the ball back and avoids the costly turnover. DeMauro checks in for the first time for the Chiefs. Rogers, nice pass to DeMauro, finds Jackson all by herself for three. No good. Abdus-Salam with the rebound for the Chiefs, and Sequoyah takes their first lead of the night, 11-10 with 3:18 left to go in the first. Utberg drives to the basket, fouled on her way to the hoop, so she'll get a chance to get the lead right back for the Wolverines as Jackson picks up her first foul of the evening.
I was literally just about to say before that drive, Upberg hasn't really had much of a presence for the Wolverines thus far, but that drive and these free throws might get something going for her.
So the first one is good, and we are tied back at 11. Second shot rattles around and falls. So Woodstock is back out front by 1 point. So the Sequoyah lead was short-lived as Utberg was able to force the foul driving to the basket. 3:05 left to go, 12-11. A very good game. Jackson for the corner three. It is up and in, and Sequoyah out in front with their biggest lead of the evening, 14-12.
And that's saying something. Woodstock has obviously been dominating or been controlling, at least having a grip on this whole game thus far. For Sequoyah to have a 2-point lead being their biggest, that shows something.
So Rogers picks up a foul, playing defense a little too hard on Martin. Utberg takes the inbound pass. Martin moves away from the screen, gets it down to Conkle. Baseline drive, nice block by Blatchford. And it'll stay Woodstock basketball. Gay takes the inbound pass. Leaves it back out for Utberg. Martin for three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound taken by Rogers. 2:20 left to go in the first. Sequoyah on top of Woodstock, 14-12. Blatchford looks inside for Abdus-Salam, and the freshman is forced out of bounds. And a turnover for the Chiefs. As excellent defense played by Gay for the Lady Wolverines.
Yeah.
You know, Chase, something we talk about all the time with the boys team is their big three. They have Fisher Mitchell, Dylan Wally, and then Kyle Keener. Well, the girls have a big three too. That's Rogers, Jackson, and Blatchford. If they can get those three going, they're going to be in a good position.
A lot of athleticism in those three names that you just called, Will. Ball taken in the corner. Abdus-Salam playing defense on Gay. Ball finds its way back to Utberg with a nice move to the basket. No good on the shot. Second attempt, no good. Blatchford sails it over to Rogers. Rogers steps over the logo and dishes it to Blatchford, who gives it right back to her. Three-pointer from the wing for Susanna Rogers, and Sequoyah now out to a 5-point lead with 90 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Utberg drives in. Nice defense there by the freshman Abdus-Salam. Fast break opportunity for Sequoyah, and Blatchford converts 19-12 with 1:14 left to go in the first. Martin drives the lane, no good on the layup. And a foul on Gay. A little too aggressive going after the basketball.
Gay's been playing very aggressive basketball thus far. Good to see for the Wolverine side of the ball.
Woodstock coming out showing press. The officials got something they want to conversate about real quick. Wanted to make sure they got the correct number on the Woodstock player called for a foul. Rogers to Davies. Here comes the trap. She gives it right back to Rogers. Now to Gaddis on the wing, who gives it back to Davies. Davies over to Rogers. Abdus-Salam, corner three-point shot. Oh, and it rattles around and goes in. Addison Gorley with a big three-point shot, and Sequoyah's up to a double-digit lead with 32 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Gaze in the lane, and a big block by Abdus-Salam. Shot clock is dead, 18 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Rogers taking her time. Gets it back out to Gorley, who sends it right back to her. 8 seconds left. To Davies, three-point shot, no good. Abdus-Salam tries to get it back in bounds and cannot, so 2.2 seconds left to go, and Woodstock will get a chance at a Hail Mary. So Monthor checking in for Woodstock. First time we've seen her this evening. And Martin gets the shot off, but it's a little left. So after the first quarter, your score, Sequoyah 22, Woodstock 12. Guys, a pleasant surprise here in the first quarter for these Lady Chiefs.
Yeah, you're right, Chase. And looking at the scoreboard right now, no one with more than 3 points. So scoring been pretty evenly distributed. No one's been really owning the game so far. And if you're the Chiefs, that's what you want to see, because you're going to have a team effort here to beat Upberg and the Woodstock Wolverines.
It's been pleasant to see the Sequoyah defense play the way they have, and their offense be able to complement it this game. With Blatchford and with Abdus-Salam, her presence down low on defense and on offense has been truly impressive. She's a freshman, but her ability to dominate these upperclassmen is truly astounding.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting a very close game, and it's surprising that after one quarter, we've already seen a double-digit lead. And like you said, the points are really spread out, Will. Everybody's been getting in on it. We saw Gorley hit a three-pointer. Susanna, who we didn't even know was going to play, hit a three-pointer. Blatchford's got, is halfway to her usual total that she gets all the evening. But a very all-around effort by both teams. I mean, you look over on the other side of the scoreboard, 2-3, 2-3 for Woodstock. So both teams getting a lot of offensive they're being very liberal on offense, getting everybody the basketball, but Sequoyah doing it a little better, up 10 points, 22-12 as we get ready to start the second quarter. And fans, this is not the last ball game of the evening. After this, we've got our nightcap, which will be IMG Academy Blue Team taking on New Faith Christian Academy in what should be a very exciting and highlight-filled game. But first, we got to finish up here with this inter-county matchup between Sequoyah and Woodstock. Utberg takes the inbound pass over the half-court line. Now inside look for Monthor. Monthor gets it back to Martin. Martin drives to the basket and lays it up and in. And Woodstock cuts it to 8. So 22-14 your score with 7:35 left to go in the first half. Jackson down on the wing. Gets it back to Rogers, who picks up her dribble. Blatchford up top, wide open middle. They're trying to find a lane for Ellie, and she finds one but can't convert. And an excellent effort there by Monthor to keep the ball in bounds for Woodstock, but it will go off of her, and Sequoyah will take over back underneath Woodstock's basket. Blatchford all by herself at the top of the key and knocks down a big three-point shot. And Ellie Blatchford is the first player in this game to be in double digits.
Double digits in just the second quarter with under a minute gone.
And you can't leave Ellie Blatchford that open. That's disrespectful.
No, not at the top of the key, especially. That's her sweet spot. So 25-14, Sequoyah with their biggest lead of the ball game at 11, 6:52 left to go in the first half. Long pass, Jackson all by herself inside and buries it home. And Sequoyah putting their foot on the gas here against these Lady Wolverines by a score of 27-14. Inside look and no one is home. Sequoyah takes back over with a 13-point lead. Rogers to Blatchford. Davies goes down to the corner. Probably an outlet for Blatchford. It is. She finds it now down inside to Barber. Barber gives it back to Rogers. Rogers drives the lane and lays it up. No good, a little bit too far to the left, and here come the Wolverines with 6:08 left to go, trailing 27-14. And Martin with a nifty move to the basket, no good on the shot. Barber going for the rebound, and we've got a jump ball as Barber almost throws Martin through the paint. But the possession arrow in favor of the Chiefs. As checking into the ball game for Woodstock is going to be Caitlin Brown, the freshman power forward. And she's going to try her luck matching up against Taft and Barber. Chiefs taking their time. Davies at the point. Blatchford all by herself for three, and she knocks down another one. And Sequoyah with a 16-point lead. 5:40 left to go in the first half. Guys, we did not expect this coming into this game.
Yeah, just like the Woodstock and Sequoyah boys game was going, that's not how we expected it to go, and this one's not how we expected it to go either.
So Monthor cuts that back to a 14-point lead as she lays it up in and off the glass. 30-16 with 5:24 left to go in the half. Inside look to Jackson. No good, but she gets her own rebound. Now out to Barber, who takes a long 2-point shot, rattles around, and is no good.
Yeah, this isn't really how they expected it to go at all. In the beginning, we were talking about how when Woodstock had a lead, like they were kind of controlling it, but now it's all Sequoyah.
Deep 3-point shot by Utberg, and that will pull back to within 11 points. 5 minutes left to go in the half. 30-19 your score after Utberg nailed a big 3-point shot from straight away.
And those are her first points since the first quarter, so started off a little quiet here in the second.
Barber gets it back out to Davies, who's all by herself on the perimeter. No good on the 3-point shot. Martin on the rebound for Woodstock.
And that's Davies' third missed three, so she's having the look. She just needs to connect.
And another missed 3-point shot by Woodstock.
One thing to notice by the Wolverines on defense is they have Lily Conkle, the freshman, normally on Ellie Blatchford, and that's a big statement when you have Bridget Upberg.
Blatchford's first shot, no good. Second shot, no good. Barber in there for the rebound, tries to put it up, and is fouled on her second putback attempt. So Barber, for the second time tonight, goes to the free throw line. So 4:15 left to go in the first half. 30-19 is your score as Barber looks to extend that lead, and she does as she makes the first. So Barber now with her second shot coming up. She knocks it down.
And Max, I think you bring up a good point that Utberg is not on Blatchford. I know Chase had said to me before the game that Blatchford and Utberg would have been a matchup to watch, but to see them not having that this early in the game, definitely something to see that the Woodstock coach is changing it up a little bit.
Utberg with the pass and get right back. Utberg to the basket and lays it up and in. 32-21 your score. 4 minutes left to go in the first half.
And it would be interesting to see the reasoning behind that, because if they were on each other, I think both of them would have less points because they both are leading their teams in points right now.
Gaddis a little overzealous on the bounce pass. It bounces up and causes a turnover. Inside look, and fouled going up for the shot is Caitlin Brown. So Brown, the freshman, makes her first trip to the nail. She can convert both. That brings it back down to a 9-point game. First one is no good. And the second shot a little better, as it is good from 15 feet straight away. So 32-22 your score, 3:37 left to go in the first half. Blatchford over to DeMauro, who gets it back to Jackson. Jackson taking her time, working on Martin, now drives the lane, and a floor foul on Martin.
and Chase, on that last possession, we saw Upberg again back on Blatchford, and I mean, for good reason, Blatchford's at 13 points, so definitely want to have your best player on Sequoiah's best player.
Earlier in the season, we saw that Blatchford was a little off. Seems like she's starting to get her game back here as a deep three-point shot goes in for Erin Jackson. And Sequoyah has their groove here in the first half, 35-22 with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. So the whistle's blown, and the offending Chiefs can be Callie Gaddis. Corner three head fake for Martin. Gets a good look, but no dice on the put through. Gaddis gives it back to Rogers. Woodstock playing conservatively, no press. Nice pass to Rogers. Gets it back to Gaddis, who's wide open, takes a look at a three-point shot, no good. DeMauro tries to get a hand on it for the rebound, can't do it, and Woodstock will come back down to the other side of the floor. Upberg drives to the basket, runs into Abdus-Salam. Gaddis can't hold on to it. Upberg gets it back, now pushes this back out to Conkle, who finds Martin, who gets it over to the freshman. Pass stolen by Abdus-Salam, Sequoiah's freshman, as she picked Brown's pocket. And here come the Chiefs. 2:15 left to go in the half, 35-22 Sequoyah. Rogers drives the lane, no good on the layup attempt. And a foul called on Abdus-Salam. Would like to thank the world's best cameraman here tonight on Chiefs TV. That would be Brad Mann. Let's hear it for him, the world's best cameraman and AV teacher, doing some fantastic work for the Chiefs TV program behind the camera tonight. So 2-minute warning here in the first half, 35-22. Brown drives to the lane, nice look at a layup, and finds the lip of the rim, and it drops in, 35-24, a minute 45 left to go, Sequoyah leads. Jackson flashes in the low block, Blatchford gets it on the wing. Now out to Gaddis, Gaddis gets it over to Rogers. Rogers one-on-one with Upberg, will give it over to Blatchford, who drives the lane, is hacked, and will go to the line for two. So a minute 27 left to go, 35-24. And the hottest shooter on the floor right now, Ellie Blatchford, goes to the line to shoot two.
And Blatchford up to 13 on the game right now. Her average on the season is 15, so looking to surpass that average this game.
First shot, no good. We jinxed it.
My bad, my bad.
So Blatchford makes her second. She's 3 points away from her per game average. And we've still got a minute 20 left to go in the first half. Upberg one-on-one with Gaddis. That's a mismatch. Upberg pulls up and puts one on target, but no good. And here come the Chiefs back down to the other end of the floor. Barber with the pick, gets Blatchford open, and she drains a three-point shot, and now Ellie Blatchford is at her points per game average.
And that'll get Blatchford to 3 for 3 on threes tonight. How about that?
50 seconds left to go in the half, 39-24. Sequoyah all over Woodstock in the first half. As Blatchford has been red hot, and Utberg from the logo, and the bank is open for Bridget Utberg. She shot that one from, it had to be 40 feet away.
From Woodstock High School.
And she looked over at her coach, and her coach just laughed.
So a big three-point shot by Utberg. Rogers drives in, lays it up, no good, 20 seconds left to go. There's a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Utberg looks inside again, goes around Barber, lays it up and in, and Utberg turning the Jets on here at the end of the first half. 5 seconds left to go, 39-29. Jackson's got to get an open look, and she loses the basketball with 1.9 seconds left to go. So Woodstock basketball, 1.9 seconds left. Sequoyah pressing, trying to not let them get a last-second shot off. And unable to get one up towards the basket is Woodstock. So at the end of the first half, a little bit of a surprising first half as Sequoyah on top of Woodstock, 39-29. Guys, a big first half there for these Lady Chiefs.
Yeah, most definitely. I think a lot of things went right for the Lady Chiefs. Obviously, we saw Blatchford with a huge night, a huge night so far, I should say, 17 points. That's really good to see, especially coming off the last home game where she didn't perform up to where she usually does. And again, Upberg really coming alive there in the last minute or so of that with 5 quick points.
Yeah, talking to Coach Yarborough before the game, he was a little concerned with Susanna not being at 100%, but she, apart from not starting, she's been on the floor the majority of the game for the Chiefs. Not too many people in foul trouble, so a pretty clean game. Sequoyah up by 10. Max, what are we looking for in the second half?
I'm looking for Bridget Upberg to continue what she did in that last minute, and in that last minute, she scored 5 points back-to-back to make it a 10-point game. I think that should give Woodstock a lot of confidence. They have motivation now, only down by 10 points. These teams are pretty even, but with momentum swinging towards one side, maybe after that last minute, it could be a much more competitive game in the second half.
So before we go to break, we'd like to throw it over to some sponsors that we neglected in the first half. Max, go ahead and take it away.
Of course, Chase. We would like to thank our gold sponsors, Beato's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Our gray sponsors, Barber Homes, Barber Lucky Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture. And our white sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Maritas at Little River. Thank you for supporting the Sequoyah basketball programs.
So we'll be back after a quick break for the second half of our third game of 4 tonight here at the War Lodge Invitational. Sequoyah on top of Woodstock in an excellent girls matchup, 39-29, and we'll be right back after this short break here on Chiefs TV. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the War Lodge at Sequoyah High School from scenic Canton, Georgia. You're in for a treat here tonight as we are at Game 3 of our 4-game series for tonight. Your current matchup pits the Lady Sequoyah Chiefs up against the Wolverines of Woodstock, a cross-county matchup here in Cherokee County, Georgia. Your score right now at the end of the first half is Sequoyah on top of Woodstock, 39-29. Everything went right for Sequoyah in the first half. A little momentum shift here towards the end of the first half, though, as Woodstock started clawing their way back in a little bit.
Yeah, Sequoyah's lead got as big.
Yeah, we've been talking about it before the first half ended. Bridget Upberg had a great ending to that first half. It was pretty impressive to see how they got back into it very quickly. How she got her team right back into it very quickly. And honestly, a 10-point deficit is not nearly as bad as our 15 was just like a minute before that.
Yeah, Sequoyah's lead was as big as 17, and then Upberg with a couple baskets there was able to get it down to 10.
So 7:50 left to go as we're 10 seconds into the third quarter. Woodstock with the basketball first. Drive to the basket, no shot. And little contact under the hoop. Gets Blatchford the basketball as she gives it back to Rogers, who is the field general for Sequoyah. Ball stolen, though, by Utberg. As she leads the Wolverines back down the floor. Another deep three-point shot, no good. As maybe a little overconfident since her last three-point shot landed from Town Lake Parkway.
But we saw her open the bank with one earlier, so she knows she can do it.
Yeah, she launched that one from no joke, the logo. I mean, it was from the logo, went off the backboard, hit it right in the square, and went into the hoop.
It was a beautiful shot.
It was a great shot.
It's no wonder why the Chippewas wanted her up in Michigan.
Some action in her future. Nice give and go by Blatchford as Blatchford kicks off the scoring here in the second half. Fitting as she comes up to 19 points on the evening, 41-29, a minute gone in the third. Blatchford pokes the ball out of bounds, but it will stay Wolverine ball. Utberg chases it back to half court. Martin drives inside, a good look to the basket and laying it up and in is Gay.
Woodstock staying within 10, not trying to get too far out of it, trying to keep within grasp so when they go on a run, they can get back in this game.
Rogers taking her time. She's got Martin on her. Picks up her dribble, gives it to Barber, who gives it right back. Good look at a three for Rogers, no good. Davies with the offensive rebound, and she is fouled on the putback attempt. So Davies makes her first trip to the charity stripe tonight.
And that's one flaw about Lily Conkle. She's a very aggressive freshman that Woodstock is blessed to have, but she just is not the tallest player, so when she faces some other tall opponents, it's hard for her to defend them.
So Sailor Davies, the sophomore here at Sequoyah, drains the first one. And the second is good. Sequoyah back out to a 12-point lead, 6:28 left to go in the third. 43-31 your score here from the War Lodge. Inside move by Conkle. She picks up her dribble and is trapped inside the paint. Ball on the ground, picked up by Barber. She gets it ahead to Jackson. Jackson and Blatchford have numbers. Blatchford pulls up and knocks down a 6-foot jumper to make it 45-31 in favor of the Chiefs. 2 minutes gone in the third.
And that'll give Blatchford 21 points on the night.
Pass back out to Martin Utberg for three. Davies there too late. Rattles around and drops in. And Woodstock wants to take a timeout and talk about it. So another big three-point shot by Utberg. 5:51 left to go in the third, 45-34.
So Chase, as good as Utberg and Woodstock have been playing, Sequoyah's has been doing a great job of being able to just keep it right out of their grasp. I mean, even still with pretty sizable lead.
So Sequoyah Blatchford's got 21 of their 45 points, and Utberg with 15 of the 34 for Woodstock. So in that regard, this game has gone as we've expected it. It's been the Blatchford and Utberg show, but the scoreboard, you know, it was close at first, and then Sequoyah really stepped on the gas in the second quarter, and we think Woodstock's going to come back and make a game out of this, but for now, we're surprised that it hasn't been back and forth the entire time.
Yeah, and one thing we were talking about earlier, you said that Blatchford and Utberg show is that they're not guarding each other. Those two aren't applying pressure to stop scoring. So it's interesting to see why Coach Yarborough and Coach Tate Leslie have put them not on each other. Because I think if they were, the 21 and 15 points might be down to like 10, 12.
And Max, something that I've seen on the couple of Sequoyah Chiefs offensive possessions is that when Utberg is guarding Blatchford, Blatchford's doing a really good job of like rolling away and getting away so she can get open and get all the points that she's been able to get.
Rogers on the inbound. Sequoyah up by 11, 45 to 34. Still very early in the third quarter. Rogers trying to find a lane. It's not there. She picks up her dribble, but the ball's poked away. She gets it over to Barber. Barber drives into the lane, tries to do the turnaround jumper. No good. Davies picks the ball up. Jackson looking at a three-point shot. No good. As Gay chases the ball down, but Jackson steals it. Nice block by Utberg as she rejected that one. Sequoyah still with the ball. Rogers all by herself. Everybody just left. Shot still no good. 5:06 left to go in the third, and Jackson picks up a reaching penalty.
Coach Yarborough's not happy with that one.
Yeah, I don't think he would be. She touched the ball, so a reaching penalty is an interesting call there. 45 to 34, 5:02 left to go in the third.
Well, one thing you said that Blatchford had been rolling away from Utberg, so maybe it wasn't really the coaches telling him to do that. Maybe it's just Blatchford and Utberg knowing that they can score more when they're not on each other, and they honestly made a personal decision.
Another reaching call on Sequoyah. And Blatchford picks up a foul. .453 left to go in the third. Still 45-34 in favor of the Chiefs. Sequoyah playing zone. Utberg gets it out past the wing. Now she'll get it back up top. Blatchford and Utberg one-on-one. Utberg puts one in her face and drops it right down the hole in front of Ellie Blatchford, making it a single-digit game, 45 to 37.
A gutsy shot right there, right in Blatchford's mouth, saying, you might have more points on the board, but I can do that too.
That gap is closing as we have a whistle, as Utberg up to 18 points compared to Blatchford's 21. And it is now a 8-point game, 45 to 37, with 4:25 left to go. And checking in for the Wolverines will be Caitlin Brown, as Conkle will go take a breather.
And just as we were saying how Blatchford and Utberg might be staying away from each other on purpose, they're now guarding each other.
Down to the floor, good steal by Woodstock. A chance to cut into the lead even more. And a block is called a foul on Abdus Salam as Brown comes off the bench and immediately drives to the lane and gets a chance to go to the free throw line. So Gaddis picks up another foul. First shot is good. So a 7-point lead now here at the War Lodge. Second shot is no good. Rogers on the rebound. 4:10 left to go in the third. Blatchford fires up a three-point shot of her own. And guys, if we get into dueling three-point shots, we're gonna be in for some excitement as Sequoyah walks it back out to a 10-point lead, 48-38.
And I think that's what Blatchford wants, so she knows she can hit those.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Woodstock basketball. Utberg drives to the basket, lays it up and in. And it is now 48-40. Chiefs leading, 3:44 left to go in the third. Utberg switches over to Rogers. Rogers on Martin. She drives, and that is blocked by Martin. It'll stay Sequoyah basketball, though.
One player that normally has very explosive games is Carson Martin. 13 points per game. She only has 4 tonight. It's gonna be interesting to see how she closes this one out. Maybe gets the Wolverines some points.
Gorley's inbound pass was knocked back into the cheerleading section. So Sequoyah will take another crack at it here. Gorley's got to get it in, and Coach Yarborough wants a timeout. So with 3:30 left to go in the third, your score from the War Lodge, Sequoyah 48, Woodstock 40. Before we talk about anything, guys, let's go ahead and get these sponsors taken care of.
Of course. Thanks to our sponsors, Vito's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus are our gold sponsors. Our gray sponsors, Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, Woodstock Furniture, HQ Pest Control. And our white sponsors, Brad's Barber Shop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River.
All right, so Chase and Max, so far, Woodstock has outscored Sequoyah in this half 11-9, and a big part of that obviously has been Bridget Utberg now with 20 points, and Blatchford's also been doing a good job of keeping Sequoyah in it. They still have the lead, but they're going to need to keep the pedal to the metal if they want to keep Woodstock out of it.
Yeah, Blatchford and Utberg, the only two players on the floor right now in double digits. Blatchford's got 24 and Utberg has 20. Inbound pass to Gaddis. Gaddis with a nice inside move, but picks up her dribble. Gets it to Davies, who bounces it off her foot. Good save by Blatchford. Blatchford gets it back inside. And Abdusalam gets her own rebound and puts it back up and in to make it 50-40. Guys, some pretty physical basketball being played there under that hoop.
Yeah, that's a scary physicality of the freshman. She can do to anyone.
So possession arrow in favor of the Chiefs. 3:02 left to go in the third, and Sequoyah's got a 10-point lead.
You know, Chase, something that I had mentioned pregame is that this matchup last year went into overtime, and not only did it go to overtime, but it was close in overtime too. Sequoyah was within 2 of Woodstock for a large portion and only ended up losing by 4, so we could potentially see another overtime matchup this year.
That was a very early season matchup too. I think it was their second game last year maybe. As the ball goes down to the floor, jump ball. This one will go to Woodstock. 2:44 left to go in the third. Your score 50-40 in favor of Sequoyah.
And Chase, this matchup's almost even closer and better because both teams are 6-3, and I mean pretty much the same returning teams as well, and they all have a year more of experience.
So both teams trying to get to 4 games above 500. Jackson now matched up with Utberg. Utberg goes baseline, gets the ball back beyond the arc, but Jackson all over her. Inside pass. As a foul is called on Jackson. Correction. DeMauro picks up the foul. So 2:28 left to go. And Woodstock wants to take a timeout. So 2:28 left to go in the third. Still a 10-point ball game. And guys, it's the Ellie Blatchford and Bridget Utberg show still.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we predicted it was going to be. I mean, I would say clearly the 2 best players on each team. Again, we saw them both last year. It was a matchup of the Titans, and it's shaping up to the same thing this year.
Jackson with a solid 8 points of her own.
But besides those 2 players, I think it's pretty spread out. I don't think any other players, at least on Sequoyah, are in double digits, and that means it's been a great capability of all the players to kind of pitch in, because this is a good game. 10 points might not replicate it, but it's still a great game to watch. It's very entertaining.
Well, another thing it means is that it's very important for both players on Woodstock and Sequoyah, Blatchford and Utberg, to stay hot, as Utberg lays that one up, but it rolls off the front of the rim. both of those players need to be able to carry that momentum throughout the course of the game, because if one of them goes cold, it could spell disaster. 2:12 left to go in the third. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. Blatchford takes the pass. She's one-on-one with Utberg. Rogers retreats back to the logo. 15 seconds on the shot clock as Sequoyah starts to run their offense. Pass to Blatchford, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Launches a long two, no good. Jackson's got to lay it up and in, or it's going to be a shot clock violation. And it is a shot clock violation, so 1:44 left to go in the third. All Jackson had to do was turn around and throw it at the basket, but she passed it back out. No time left to get the shot off. Makes it a shot clock violation. 1:44 left to go in the third. Still 50-40. Sequoyah, you want to say a healthy 10-point lead, but it doesn't feel like that lead is safe.
Yeah, after that defensive standout, like the lockdown by Woodstock right there, 10-point lead doesn't seem that safe.
Martin with the ball beyond the wing. She'll drive the lane. And an offensive foul on Woodstock. A great job by Blatchford taking the charge. So Sequoyah gets the ball back with 1:23 left to go in the third. Still on top, 50-40.
And that's actually Addison Gorley who took the charge. And she's having a pretty good night. We saw her have a 3 early in that first quarter.
35 and 25 with those light colored jerseys is a little a little different sometimes, but Gorley taking the charge very well as Blatchford's on the bench. No way did Addison Gorley just take that shot. She missed long, or missed short, as another three-point shot goes up, and it's Susanna Rogers. Gorley fired a long three-point shot that wasn't close, but Rogers gets the rebound. Rogers gets the pass off the rebound and sinks a three-pointer to make it a 13-point game, as we are now under a minute to go.
That shot from Gorley had to have been from a mile away.
I admire her confidence.
Yeah.
As Rogers
It's a good thing that Rogers met her right after that, or it would have been a very awkward.
moves off the pick and gets it ahead to Barber, who lays it up and in. Great offensive teamwork there to make it a 15-point game, 55-40 with 30 seconds left to go in the third. Utberg double team, fires it down to the corner where there is no one on the shooter, and burying the shot home is Bree Rogers. And we're back to within 12, 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Shot clock's dead. Barber puts down a dribble and gives it up to Gorley. Gorley's got to shoot it. Barber takes a shot, and it's not close. So after the end of three, your score 55-43 in favor of the Chiefs. Guys, towards the end of the quarter, Blatchford got a little bit of a much-deserved rest to probably prepare her for the home stretch here in the fourth.
Yeah, much deserved indeed. And the good thing is that when she's out, the rest of Sequoyah can still step up. I mean, looking at the board, even on Woodstock's side, everybody has at least 2 points. So everybody getting in on the action here. Sequoyah doing a good job to keep their lead that they had built up in the first half.
Yeah, it was good there to see, even with Blatchford off the floor, they can pass well and they can move the ball well to get open shots. And they make the most of the time, even with Blatchford off the floor.
So real quick, we'll thank our sponsors here at the War Lodge Invitational and throughout the season as sponsors of Sequoyah Chiefs basketball. Our gold level sponsors will be Beto's Bar and Grill, along with Cherokee Focus. Our gray level sponsors will be Barber Homes, Barbara Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture. And our white level sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barber Shop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River. Thank you for supporting Sequoyah Chiefs basketball and athletics here in Canton, Georgia. As we know, money makes the world go round, and we definitely appreciate the financial burden that our sponsors relieve on our athletics programs here in Cherokee County. As we are underway here in the fourth quarter, Sequoyah 55, Woodstock 43. It is a 12-point lead for the Chiefs, but it does not feel safe. But a nice move inside and a great pass by Davies, and Rogers lays it up and in, and the Chiefs walk it back out to a 14-point lead.
Yeah, I was about to say, all Sequoyah has to do is protect their lead, but against this Woodstock team, it's not going to be easy.
Utberg, a long two-point shot, no good. And trying to save the ball. Numbers now for Sequoyah as they attack. Over to the corner for Susanna Rogers, who knocks down a three-point shot.
Largest lead of the night for Sequoyah, 17.
As Sequoyah starting to put themselves at arm's distance from the Woodstock Wolverines. They've been keeping them at bay for the majority of the evening, as now they start to step on the gas. Utberg gets blocked. No, Martin gets blocked by Barber, who gets the rebound. And Barber is fouled by the freshman, Caitlin Brown. And a minute in, Sequoyah is up by 17. So checking back in for Woodstock is going to be Rogers. Correction, that is Conkle who checked back in. Rogers is already out there. Blatchford picks up her dribble, gives it over to Jackson. Rogers drives the lane, turnaround move, no good on the shot. Blatchford puts it back up, no good as it rattled around the rim. And it will be Woodstock basketball as Blatchford was the last to touch it.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate Susanna Rogers' game tonight, leading the Chiefs on the court, but 11 points thus far. And she, even though she was dubbed sick, she's playing her heart out.
It's a flu game for Rogers.
A flu game for Rogers. Utberg on Barber up top is a huge mismatch. Barber gets back down to the low block. Rogers drives, gets it back to Conkle. Gets it to Martin. Drives in, lays it up, no good. Rebound by Rogers. Jackson, a long three-point shot, no good. Blatchford comes in for the rebound, gets it to Barber. Barber goes up and is fouled. 5:54 left to go in the fourth. And the senior, Barber, heads to the charity stripe once again.
And Chase and Max, something I just want to mention is that Sequoyah's three-point shooting has been really on point tonight. I mean, Aaron Jackson has had a couple threes. Susanna Rogers has had 3 threes. Blatchford's had plenty. We saw Gorley get on the action. So, I mean, their three ball has been really, really good.
So Barber misses the first.
And I think that goes to show how you said so many names. Sequoyah has done a great job of spreading the load around tonight. I think that is a great point to their success.
So Barber lines up her second, trying to make it an 18-point lead, and she does with 5:54 left to go in the ball game. And Barber going to take a much-deserved breather. So on the floor right now for your Chiefs is Abdusalam, Davies, Rogers, Callie Gaddis, and Aaron Jackson. Utberg brings the ball up for Woodstock. She has Martin, Rogers, Gay, and Conkle on the floor with her. Checks up and gets this over to Rogers. Rogers fires up a three, no good. Abdusalam on the rebound for Sequoyah. And is it desperation time for Woodstock as they start heaving up long shots? Abdusalam hands it off to Jackson, who drives the lane. And it lips out as the ball teased around the rim, but refuses to drop. Here comes Martin. Martin drives the lane. Nice move, but no good on the basket as Rogers picks up the rebound once again. Interestingly enough, that your point guard probably has the most rebounds of anyone on the team as she flashes inside. Nice pass from Davies. She has to stop on the mid-block. Nice crossover by Davies to get it back to Rogers. Abdusalam takes it in the paint as she is fouled going to the hoop.
But that was initiated by a great look by Susanna Rogers. She placed that pass perfectly, just out of reach of Anika Gay. That was a perfect pass by the senior. And it's a good thing by Abdusalam to have as long as arms as she does.
So checking back in for the Chiefs will be Blatchford and DeMauro, as Rogers is going to go take a breather now. And Rogers will deserve every second of the rest that she's getting. Abdusalam buries the second shot home. And it is a 19-point ball game, 4:50 left to go in the game. Utberg drives the lane, lays it up, no good, and she has gone cold here in the later portion of the ball game. As a jump ball will keep Woodstock in possession of the orange sphere.
But not just Upberg. It seems like both Upberg and Blatchford, they haven't scored at all in this fourth quarter. Still 20 and 24.
Sequoyah going with a little more of a slow and methodic approach on offense, not rushing as Blatchford gets in a track meet, but she's fouled, so she will go to the free throw line and look to add to that point total as she was chased down by Conkle and fouled. But yeah, it looks like Sequoyah's taking their time a little bit more with such a big lead as Blatchford has a chance to put them up by an Andrew Jackson here with 4:34 left to go in the fourth. No good on the first. With a make on this, she puts her team up by 20 and can reach the quarter century mark for the ball game. And Blatchford's toilet bowl's out, so no good. It stays a 19-point game.
A rare 0-2 performance from Blatchford on that free throw line visit.
Utberg trips up a little bit, but a nice lay-in. And Woodstock wants to take a timeout. So 4:24 left to go in the fourth quarter. Your score here from the War Lodge. Sequoyah well in control of this ball game, 62-45. And guys, that is not something that I thought I'd say here tonight.
No, yeah, and I think a question that you had brought up earlier is it panic time for Woodstock yet? I mean, they still have 4.5 minutes. That's plenty of time. We know exactly who they're going to go to if they do need it, and that's Upberg. And speaking of Upberg, after that, or besides that little two-pointer that she got there, she hadn't really scored many points in a while.
Yeah, she came into the fourth quarter with 20 points, and she still got it. Or she has 22 now.
And we saw in the beginning of that game how Woodstock had the lead. We saw, and we were talking about how Cherokee's had it most of the Sequoyah's had it most of the game. It was Woodstock who had it in the beginning, and we were talking about maybe it's going to be Woodstock who's going to control it for the whole time, but it was Sequoyah who dominated from there on out.
So with a Freudian slip from my colleague over here revealing his true allegiance to the team that we shall not mention, 4:24 left to go in the fourth quarter, 62-45. Sequoyah well in control, but still feel like they don't want to let off the gas. As we saw Utberg hit a three-pointer from Town Lake Parkway earlier in the game, so she's got it in her to take over a ball game and get some points back really quick, but I think Sequoyah's defense knows that as well and are starting to game plan accordingly. They're saying if somebody else is going to make a 17-point comeback on us, it's going to have to be somebody else. Gaddis gets it out to the corner for DeMauro. DeMauro launches up a three-pointer. That rattles around and pops back out, but Blatchford picks up the rebound for the Chiefs, gets it over to Gaddis. Gaddis now back to Blatchford. Now back to Rogers. Rogers goes way short on her three-point attempt. And a hard takedown to the floor on a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Sequoyah. A little bit of a judo move there by Abdusalam.
Yeah, she put all of her weight on Gay. I don't think it was intended. They were both just going after the ball, and hopefully she's okay. She looks perfectly fine.
But it did look like a little bit of a hip toss, so another timeout with 3:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. Still 62-45. Will, what are we looking for down the stretch?
Well, I think we're looking for Sequoyah to just keep doing what they've been doing. You said they've been doing a great job on offense and defense, and I think that is a fair assessment.
So we'll give a shout out to our sponsors one more time here from the War Lodge Classic, Game 3. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have another game, and a big game at that, coming up at the conclusion of this girls' basketball game. IMG going to take on New Faith Christian Academy. That one should be full of highlights. But before we do that, Max, we have some sponsors to thank.
Yes, we do, Chase. Thank you, our Sequoyah sponsors. Vito's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus are our gold sponsors. Barber Homes, Barber Lackey Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture are our gray sponsors. Our white sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salons, Suntex Marinas at Little River. Thank you all for supporting the Sequoyah basketball programs. We couldn't do it without you. But yeah, Chase, that IMG coming all the way up from Bradenton, a talented high school that they are, that's a cool thing to have.
Yeah, and you know, New Faith Christian Academy is loaded with talent as well, especially Middle Georgia Prep, who they'll play tomorrow night in our nightcap. But it should be a fantastic game to watch, but we still have the matter at hand with 3:55 left to go here between Sequoyah and Woodstock in a varsity girls matchup between Cherokee County familiar foes. 62-45 your score. Ball down on the ground and another jump ball, but the possession arrow this time will favor the Chiefs. So Rogers in double digits as well, as she's got 11. Blatchford with a stifling 24 points.
Upberg keeping up, though, with 22.
You know, we mentioned the game from last year a lot. It felt like Juliana Simon, the senior from last year, was able to contain Utberg a little bit, as that shot is no good. And, you know, we mentioned it on the broadcast as the ball goes out of bounds and will stay Woodstock ball. We mentioned it on the broadcast how good of a job we thought Juliana Simon had been doing of shutting down Utberg. But then you looked up at the you looked up at the scoreboard and she had scored 26 points. And we kind of laughed about it with Coach Yarbrough. We're like, you know, it felt like she shut her down, and Coach Ryan even came up and did an interview with us. We felt like they had done a good job of containing her offensively. As good of a job as you can do for somebody who still ended up scoring 25, 26 points. Back out to Conkle, and a lay-in by Utberg is just not there. Rogers with the rebound. And she'll check up and take her time. Utberg will meet her at half court. Barber gets it in a nice look inside, but the pass a little bit high for Sailor Davies.
Had velocity on that too. I don't know if anyone could have caught that.
Barber fired it down there.
Maybe she's threatening Matthew Trainer to take his spot.
Could be. Next year will be a fun football season here in Cherokee County, as all except Cherokee, all the Cherokee County teams except for Cherokee County will be in the same region, so it'll be a fun football season to watch for sure. But basketball season afoot here in Cherokee County right now. Ball down on the floor. Now a nice corner three look for Martin. No good, as it looked so promising, but circled out as Blatchford stops just past half court to protect the basketball. 2:42 left to go. 62-45 Sequoyah leads, as Woodstock looks to try and trap whoever has the ball. Rogers, a good look at three. Nobody there, and she knocks it down, and it's a 20-point game. 65-45 with 2:24 left to go in the fourth quarter.
What a possession that was by Sequoyah. First part of that had all of the Woodstock defenders on them. Then they pushed it all to one side and got everyone moving. That was great to get Susanna Rogers open for a three.
So Martin's pass goes out of bounds, and Sequoyah will get the ball back. 2:13 left to go in the fourth, up 65-45. As Jackson gets a good look at a corner three and knocks it down. And Sequoyah keeps their foot firmly on the gas as Jackson enters double-digit points for the night with 11. Long three-point shot there by Utberg, no good.
That'll be Jackson's third three of the night. So her and Rogers both with three.
Jackson no good on the layup, tries to get her own rebound. It's going to be taken, though, by Conkle.
Yeah, Will, you were saying earlier the amount of threes that Sequoyah's made, it just keeps on adding up. It's crazy.
And laid up and in by Brown, the freshman, and we've got a full timeout coming to us, courtesy of Coach Yarbrough. He wants to talk it over with the girls. 1:33 left to go in the ball game. Sequoyah up 68-47. Before we get out of here, let's thank the sponsors one more time.
Of course. Our sponsors, Vito's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus, our gold sponsors. Barber Homes, Barber Lucky Financial Group, Honey Baked Ham, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Stroud's Barbecue, and Woodstock Furniture are gray sponsors. And our white sponsors are Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barber Shop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River. Thank you for supporting the Sequoyah basketball programs.
And Chase and Max with a 21-point lead, which is a very sizable lead, and one that nobody coming into this thought either team would have at any point in the game. I mean, that's really, really good news for the Chiefs, and just a testament to how hard they've worked. And it truly, truly has been a team effort. I mean, like Max and I have been saying, there have been threes falling from everywhere, and everyone's been doing their part.
And the Max Preps poll had Woodstock number 21 in Georgia. And for Sequoyah to come in and, well, not come in, stay at home and beat a good Woodstock team, that's a pretty impressive feat. And we have a good team here at Sequoyah this year.
Yeah, I think Kyle Sandy had Woodstock as a top 10 team in 7A this last week. Sequoyah still a top 10 team in 6A, but we'll have to see what that looks like in the rankings. Kyle Sandy does a great job of keeping everybody's rankings and power rankings up to date as Blatchford gets called for a carry. So Kyle Sandy does a good job of covering high school basketball here in Georgia, and a fellow Sequoyah alum. Kyle Sandy on one of the more notorious basketball teams in Sequoyah hardwood history. And hopefully we'll see if we can get him to stop by tomorrow for a conversation, as Utberg will go to the line shooting 2 with 1:08 left to go in the ball game. And arriving in the building on your right-hand side of the screen, IMG Academy getting ready to take on New Faith Christian. Utberg sinks her first, and it is now a 20-point game. But get ready, folks, because after this, we have got a good one coming up, as IMG Academy will take on New Faith Christian Academy, and Utberg makes it a 19-point game as she sinks both free throws, 68-49, 1:05 left to go in the ball game. Pass to Gaddis. Gaddis shoots it all the way over to Gorley, who gets it back to Davies, who gives it right back to Gaddis. And right back down to Gorley again. Inside look to Jackson, who lays it up and in. And it's 70-49 here from the War Lodge. 48 seconds left to go. Utberg launches a deep three-pointer and knocks it down. Utberg not willing to go quietly into that good night. An 18-point ball game, 35 seconds left to go. 70-52, and she has had a night with 27 points. Good look at a basket, but not taken. 4-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Three-pointer is up, no good. And here comes Utberg, 10 seconds left. She'll just launch another three-pointer, and that's 30 points on the night for Utberg. So Utberg making it a 15-point game as time will expire here on our third game of the night at the War Lodge Invitational. Your final score, Sequoyah gets over the hump and beats Woodstock 70-55. Guys, what an incredible game by Sequoyah. All-around team effort. Fantastic job by our Lady Chiefs.
Yeah, it was a great performance, great passing. Blatchford, a 20-plus point night. It was a great overall performance to beat a good Woodstock team, hopefully get some motivation going down the stretch. But I'm just thoroughly excited for this image. And New Christian, I'm just excited. But yeah, that was a great game for Sequoyah. Hopefully this builds on momentum for the next couple games.
So a good one on tap next. We're going to take a short break, though, in between games, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next on Chiefs TV, IMG Academy's blue team will take on New Faith Christian. Your final score here from the War Lodge, Sequoyah victorious over Woodstock 70-55, and we will be right back on Chiefs TV.